We have fire. It's burning down pretty good now. Just wasted all this time and effort. Let's give this another shot. Hello, welcome back to another episode from Pale Horse Survival and Tactical. I'm Bill, glad you could join me. Today we're going to take a look at a ridgeline and tarp setup. Stay tuned. Tarp over the top, and what I'm going to do is, this is a preloaded ridgeline hank. It's a quick deploy, set up for quick deploy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description box below. It's part of my Knotcraft series that I've been shooting now for since last winter, and I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the box below. You can check that out too, how to put one of these together. And the end here we have, this is a bowline loop, and the whole premise to setting this up is so it's easy to set up and very quick to break down. If you had to get your rig taken down in a hurry, recover your cordage, and even the hammock setup on with Marline spike hitches on either end, with 2 security half hitches with toggles. So this is very, very quick and easy to break down. So the whole idea is having a setup that's covert, it's all OD green, and very quick to break down in a hurry if you have to get out of Dodge. So with that said, let's go ahead and set this ridgeline up. So what I want to do is I want to run this below the suspension straps here for the hammock. I want the ridgeline to be fairly low over the top of the the hammock. Not so low that I'm going to hit my head on it and it's going to be difficult to get in and out of my hammock. I want to be able to sit up in the hammock and still have just enough clearance between the top of my head and the ridge line and the tarp. So what we're going to do is, you can see this is set up as a quick deploy, so it comes right out of the hank without any tangles. And with this bowline here, we'll run the bowline around. I'm going to kind of eyeball where this is going to go height-wise, and I'm thinking probably right around here would be good enough. I don't want it too high. So what you do with this, run your cordage through the bowline and form a bite or loop. Take a toggle, which I already had in my pocket here, stick it through the loop, not the loop of the bowline, but the bite that you formed with the cordage. And then pull it taut, get your toggle centered. Dress everything up. The reason for this is when you go to break down your ridge line, say you have to break it down in a hurry, you just pull a little slack, pull your toggle out rather, and it comes right off just like that. There's no knots to mess with. This entire setup's designed that way. There's no knots to fight with, so it's very quick to break down in a hurry. So again, we run our line around the tree trunk here. Pull your line through the bowline to form a bite or loop. Now you have your toggle set up on here, and we're going to run this across to the other side. Okay, now we're on the opposite side. I ran the ridge line across, and this is our standing end here. This is our running end. This is going around the opposite tree trunk on the other side. So what we're going to do over here, a lot of people use a taut line hitch, and a taut line hitch works very well. However, you do have to untie it. It takes just a little bit longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with a really cool hitch known as a Pheromone friction hitch. And I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. I'll put a link in the box below to this also as part of the Knotcraft series. And I'm not going to go too in depth here for the simple fact that there will be a video attached on this. But the nice thing about this is it's going to go right along with this theme of a very quick takedown ability. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to take our running end here and we're going to form a loop, and we want the running end to pass underneath, not on top. So you want to just take it, form a loop, you want it to pass underneath here. Pull out enough slack. You're going to go over here to the running end. You're going to pass your loop underneath the running end. Run 2 turns. There's 1 turn, 2 turns around the running end. So it looks very similar to a taut line hitch. Take your running end here, which is underneath, pull it up, form a bite. Pass it through the loop. Dress it up, just as you would a taut line. Want to make sure your turns are even here. Work the slack out of it. And this functions just like a taut line hitch. And then you just take it, it'll slide. Just like that, and it grips the line, and now we have our ridge line nice and tight. This loop here, if you're worried about something snagging on your tail here, you could either put a toggle in here, or you can take your excess, bundle it up just like this. Bundle up your excess, slide it into your loop, and then pull your, it'll act just like a slip knot. Pull it tight. That'll keep that from pulling through. Now the beauty of the Pharamond is, and this is tight as a drum, you can pull on it a little more to try and get a little more out of it, but it's very tight, and it's not going to slip on you. And when you go to, the beauty of this is a very quick takedown. You just pull your toggle or your excess out of there, pull the slip knot out, just like that, and the whole thing comes undone. It's that easy. And there's the Pharamond that we just formed. And this is the bowline over here with the toggle. You can see this is tight as a drum, just like a clothesline. Okay, I'm using a military poncho for this for the canopy, and what I'm going to do is we're going to attach this using a I'm going to attach this using Prusik hitches to tension the tarp out, and I have it set up in a plow point configuration. First, what we need to do is, usually you form these with double fisherman's knots, but in this case they're not going to bear a lot of load, so we're just going to use single overhands. Single overhand knots. This is going to bear very, very little weight. Just like that. And that way we have a smaller knot to pass through the eyelet of the tarp. A double fisherman's knot, since I'm using paracord here, I think would be a little bit too big to pass through the eyelet over here. So let's take a closer look. Okay, I've got you guys over here at a ridgeline. I'm actually setting up a military poncho as a canopy over a hammock here. And The prusik hitch has a number of uses. You can use it to secure and place tension on a tarp onto a ridgeline. You can use it to ascend and descend a vertical climbing rope, for example. And it's a really good one to know. First, you have to form a continuous loop of cordage, which I have done here. And since this isn't going to bear much weight at all, it's just putting tension on a tarp, I've used single fisherman's knots. You can use doubles and triples if it's going to bear more of a load. And so to do this, just pass your continuous loop underneath your ridge line, where you can pass it around a vertical rope. Pass it once, twice, 3 times, and then you're going to pull this and just dress it up. Make sure it's neat and that your turns are not overlapping one another, and pull it tight. Now this is your prusik. And the nice thing about a prusik, when it has no tension on it, it'll easily slide in either direction. But when you put tension on it, it grips the line that it is wrapped around. That will not move. And that'll work. This is bi-directional. It'll work this way or this way. It's a very, very valuable knot to know. And then to tension this tarp, I'm just going to make a bite on the end of the cordage, pass it through the eyelet, run a toggle through the top of this, and now I can slide this. And I'll do the same on the other end, and I'll put tension between the two, and they will oppose each other and grip the line and keep it from sliding. So you can adjust your tarp this way, the position of your tarp. Very, very simple to do. Okay, we're down at the other end, and I'm going to demonstrate this again down here. This is the other side of my hammock here. So again, I have another piece of 550 paracord. I formed single fisherman's knots. They're just single overhand knots. Run it underneath, pass it once, twice, 3 times. And you want to make sure as you're pulling this that your turns don't overlap, so just kind of dress everything up. At first things kind of want to unravel on you till you get it tight down here. There is our prusik, and same thing. So we're going to go ahead and slide this down here. I have another toggle here in my pocket. I'm going to run the bite or loop and then you just simply slide this down the line, and it's opposing the other one on the other end. And that stretches the tarp and puts a nice tension on it. Keeps everything taut. Okay, this is what we have so far. It's the Pheromone friction hitch. Or I'm sorry, the Prusiks Another prusik down here. And the tarp stretched taut between. So now we're going to move over on the back side and anchor the back side down. Okay, we're on the back side here. We're going to anchor the back edge of the military poncho down to this peg that I drove into the ground here. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a short piece of 550 paracord. We're going to run it through the eyelet here of the poncho, and for this we're going to do a nice quick connect with a slippery hitch. Just like that. You take a toggle, tighten the loop down. And the nice thing about the slippery hitch, you remove the toggle, you pull it, and it comes undone. It's that easy. Remember, we're going for a very fast disconnect feature with this entire setup here. I'll place a link below in the description box below to the slippery hitch. Down here we go around the peg. We're going to go again with the pheromone friction hitch. Just like that. That pheromone friction hitch really works nice. And again, no toggle needed. Just gather up your excess. Just like this. This is basically just a slip knot. Pull on your end, keeps everything nice and neat. Okay, we're up here in the front. I cut a stick here and pointed the end so it'll go right through the eyelet here. It's the same deal up here in the front. I'm going to run a slippery hitch. Truss it up, get everything snug. I'm going to put a toggle in the loop, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and reposition you guys. I have a peg driven into the ground over here, where we'll terminate this with another pheromone. Okay. So let me get this cordage under control here. Move everything out of the way. Cordage tends to want to grab onto everything on the ground. Pine cones especially. case we're going to run another pheromone over here. And then just simply slide the hitch up the standing line to get your desired amount of tension. And that is really, really, really tight. And then just like before, just go ahead and gather up your excess. I really prefer the pheromone over the taut line. Not that there's anything wrong with the taut line. It's just a little bit easier, in my opinion, to do the pheromone, and it breaks down a lot easier and a lot faster. So there we go. Let's go check this thing out. Okay, so this is what we have. The military poncho is set up. And this is really sturdy here. Really sturdy. Now this is pretty low profile. Do the walk around here. And if you're using a poncho, you can put a loop of cordage around the poncho if you're expecting rain or whatever, and that'll secure that hood, and you kind of poke it down inside itself so it's not sitting up there. I really enjoy the plow point configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down in the hammock and so you can get a comparison as far as height and everything goes. Yeah, this works great, guys. The height is really good. Didn't have any problem getting in. I prefer a canopy to be on the lower side rather than too high. And but yeah, this works pretty well. I like the porch idea out here. You can kind of lay and look out into the woods, and yeah, you got a nice little protected area here from the weather. Yeah, this is all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it today. Please like, subscribe, and share. I hope all of you are having an outstanding day or night, depending on where you're located, and I will see all of you very soon on the next one. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.